Hi, everybody, and welcome to Homeopathic Voices from around the world. Absolute delight to have been hosting this three-part special on Introducing Homeopathy, the film. And today, for part 3, I have the amazing... Right, let's just do that. So we're just waiting for Kim to join, and I've got some questions for him actually as well. So it's going to be so good. I can't wait. Really looking forward to it. And there we are, Kim Elia, producer for the upcoming film Introducing Homeopathy.
Hi, Hatik.
Right.
Nice to see you. As always, my friend.
To see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Thank you again for everything.
You know, I see you more than I see my own family now. You know that, right?
Is that true? I hope that's not true.
No, but it's very a close second.
Yeah.
So for those tuning in, as I've just mentioned at the start, but I will just say it again, that over the last 3 days, we've been able to hold 3 Instagram lives, today being the 3rd, and we're talking to the core team members, or some of the core team members from the film Introducing Homeopathy, which screens on April 19th in Reston, Virginia at the JAHT conference. Now, I have a number of questions for Kim. For those tuning in, remember that you can watch parts 1 and 2. So part 1 was with Carol Boyce, who's a homeopath and filmmaker. And part 2, which was live yesterday, was with Isabel Wells, who is the communications director. And both have been on, and you can watch those on YouTube. Links are in the bio right at the top, and of course on the reels. But today it's a great honor to have the producer himself and the visionary, Kim Elia. So thank you so much, Kim, for joining us live.
Thank you, Hatik. It's always a pleasure.
So my first question is really, how's it going? How's the progress on the film itself? And,
Well, you can see from my hair standing on end that we're under a little bit of duress here. No, it's going great. There's a lot that we're involved in right now. We've got hundreds of hours worth of footage that we're putting together, but it's very exciting. I mean, we have these just very powerful stories of patients. I think I've told you a little bit about them already, but a young boy with autism and seizures, a man with bipolar disorder who had drug addiction issues, a woman who couldn't get pregnant, and you see throughout the film how all of their issues get resolved through homeopathic intervention. It's very powerful, very moving. So we're just kind of getting ready for that. We've also put up a page on our website where people can. And we're encouraging people to have parties where they invite their friends and family members to their home. They purchase a ticket, and then everybody sits around and they view it, and then perhaps talk about it afterwards. And just a great way to spread, the story about homeopathy to the larger world community. And we've also made it very easy for people to purchase multiple tickets. So if you want to purchase tickets and give them away as gifts, you can also do that as well. Or I'm encouraging people, if you can, come to Reston, Virginia and participate in the Joint American Homeopathic Conference and be there at the World Historic event on Friday night, where you'll get to meet a lot of the people involved in the film, the director, many of the producers. Carol Boyce, I believe, will be there as well. Many of the people who have been interviewed for the film will be there also. I think maybe 15 or 20 of the various individuals will be there. So it's gonna be a big deal. I mean, a really big event.
I can't wait, for that day to arrive. And certainly everyone I'm speaking to about the film is very excited. And we've spoken about this. Of course, you've been on the podcast. It's been such a delight to have you on the podcasts as well. And as we get closer and closer, I remember I asked Isabel yesterday how it's going. And she was talking about there's literally about 8 weeks, maybe 9 weeks, something like that, before the finished product.
Day before yesterday was exactly 2 months.
Oh, yeah.
And we all noticed that. 2 months. But anyway, it's all coming together beautifully. I mean, really everything. We just received, for example, some footage from Jeremy Scher of a patient, an AIDS patient that he treated down in Tanzania very successfully. and the footage is fabulous. And the woman she's a filmmaker in her own right, who actually filmed the stuff, has been kind enough to let us use it for the documentary. It's about 4.5 minutes of some very compelling footage that was filmed in Tanzania, and you can see this woman who was very sick with AIDS. Basically, her health issues are resolved. It's very, very powerful. So that was very exciting. We just got word of that a few days ago, and we're going to be integrating that into the film. It's quite exciting.
I think that's what is going to make this film so appealing to those new to homeopathy, and of course the avid readers as such, the ones who have homeopathy in their lives. Having real life examples is where the true testimony is. I often say to people I'm talking to that the living testament of homeopathy is the fact that 500, 600 million people around the world are using it.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. That's your live trials, if for want of a better word,
Sure.
that's your example of how people are using it and improving and getting better and getting their life back.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the things, Atik, that we did consciously early on is to organize the film in such a way that it makes for a very compelling argument. Not that you should believe that homeopathy is real and true and all these things that we say about it, but at the very least that you should want to further investigate this system of medicine, to see more, to see if there isn't some value in your own life that it can provide for you. And so what we decided to do early on in the film is, even before we actually introduce all of these various patient stories, we actually immediately address the whole issue of placebo. Because I think that the number one objection that people have out there is that homeopathy is simply placebo. And we were very fortunate to interview a medical doctor down at UC Davis, who's a foremost expert on the placebo effect, who conducted a wonderful interview. And she was actually able to share actual studies that show that homeopathy is more than the placebo effect. And I think this is really important because it addresses this fundamental objection right at the very beginning, gets it out of the way. And then when you're introduced to the various patients, you're not thinking, well, they just, they were listened to and people were nice to them and consoling, and that's why they got better. And we clearly demonstrate that that's not the case, so that when you start to see these patients, you really are open to hearing how homeopathy changed their lives.
And also with with animals and crops. For example, Pat Ahern is on tomorrow on my Insta Live, and you know Pat very well, the homeopath farmer from Cork
Sure.
in Ireland, and he's done so much as far as the health of his dairy cows are concerned, and Tracy Simpson in New Zealand has done the same. And now Pat, for example, has moved to agriculture, on the agriculture side, and we know that. I was talking to Kim Elia, and she was talking about that as well, and homeopathy for plants and for crops generally, and for soil, and what we within homeopathy certainly know. But that's how can you say that's placebo, because it doesn't make any logical sense at all, or scientific
Yeah, absolutely. And matter of fact, we followed the placebo segment with a segment about a dog, Joker, whose bone was deadened from an injury, and actually, after homeopathic intervention, the bone grew back. I mean, this is remarkable. This is almost unprecedented. You never hear of something like that. And so we immediately delve into that particular story. And yes, we also focus quite a bit about homeopathy's use in agriculture, for increasing crop yields, for improving the health of livestock. We, as I think you know, we went to the UK and we interviewed a number of farmers there. Their stories were very powerful, very compelling. And they all said, the animals don't know that we're putting this remedy into their trough. They don't have any idea. They just think we're giving them food. So, there's no way that there's a placebo effect that's happening there.
Amazing. It really is. And it's so nice also to know that the film incorporates not just the human element, but also the animal element, and I think that's quite important, which you've so poetically said and explained.
Yeah, I mean, homeopathy can benefit any living organism that's out of tune, for sure.
Yeah, I must say here, for those tuning in live, if you have any questions, I have received some questions, which I'm going to read out in a short while.
Oh, great.
But if you have any live questions, as in right now, please ask away, put your comments in about the film. You have the producer himself, so, time to seek benefit from this opportunity, certainly. I do have some questions, but I just wanted to ask you before we go into that, just so how, how do you feel? Are you how do you feel getting closer to the time? And I know I have asked you that before, but I'm just thinking,
You
are
know,
you in a good place as far as
oh
everything is
yeah,
quite
yeah.
scheduled
Yeah. No, everyone is very excited. We have a lot of work ahead of us. You know, we've basically got a little bit less than 2 months, and there's a lot to do. But the footage that we have is so powerful, and we have such an amazing team between Carol and Marcy and Julian, and he's got a whole team of editors. And
Mm.
I mean, we've got a lot of people who are working on this project, and we're extremely enthusiastic. Maybe not as enthusiastic as you are, Atik, but we're trying. We're working towards
Well,
enthusiasm.
thank you. Well, it's an honor to be part of the to be a collaborator and to just promote this. This is the year for homeopathy, and this is
Yeah.
going to be something so incredible. And
Well,
everybody knows.
that was you came up with it, homeopathy, 2024, the year of homeopathy. So thank you for that.
Pat Ahern, we were just talking about you. He has joined, and he said, "Have you secured Morgan Freeman?" He asked a question.
So we need to send Morgan Freeman's production company a rough cut of the film. We are expecting to have that finished around the first few days of March, somewhere March 2nd or 3rd or 4th, something along those lines. To be perfectly honest, I do expect that he will agree to narrate the film. I would be very surprised if he doesn't. I would say the chance of him narrating is probably 99%. There's always that possibility that for whatever reason that he won't want to do it. But at this point, from the feedback that we've gotten from the production company and what they've asked about, it seems very positive. I do feel there's a very, very strong chance that he will be the narrator.
That's just going to be incredible. What a voice to get as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely
yeah. The voice of
amazing.
God.
I was thinking you'd ask James Earl Jones, but that would be very Darth Vader, wouldn't it? So,
He's got a great voice as well, for sure. Is he still doing stuff? I don't even.
I know not anymore. I think
Yeah,
he's 80 or 90 plus,
he's
isn't he?
up there in age. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, so
Um,
is Morgan, of course, as well. Morgan's
yeah,
up there as well. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pat Ahern, and I will see you live tomorrow, of course. Homeopath Ashley Mendoza says, no question, just wanted to say hello.
Hi,
Excited
Ashley.
to hear.
I'm glad you're on.
Yeah,
Ashley
amazing.
interviewed me a while
Ashley's
back.
amazing. I was with her just last week for the HWC health talk.
Yeah, she's a lovely lady. Been very supportive of this project.
I have some questions. They're not in any specific order. I've just put them
Sure.
down as they came out. So one of the questions asked is, and I'm reading it out, distribution of the film. How can we see it? Someone has asked.
So right now because of our negotiations with Netflix, we can't actually call it a premiere. I think we have to call it like a private screening or something to that effect. So we're showing the private screening on April 19th. And there's 3 ways that you can participate. You can either attend the Joint American Homeopathic Conference in Reston, Virginia, which runs from April 19th through April 21st. And if you do pay to attend that conference, you get to participate in the Friday event free of charge. If, for whatever reason, you don't want to attend this year's JHC, which, by the way, I highly recommend, it's a star-studded lineup of speakers. I'll be one of the speakers. Richard Pitcairn will be a speaker. Mitch Fleischer, many really talented. Linda Johnson, many of the people who are in the film will be speakers at the conference. But if you don't want to attend the conference for whatever reason, you can pay $65 and attend the Friday night event, this World Historic event. Or if, for whatever reason, you can't make it to Reston, Virginia, you can pay $25. You can go online to introducinghomeopathy.com, and there's a page there where you can actually purchase a virtual ticket. And again, as I said earlier, we're encouraging people to either buy multiple tickets for friends and family members, people they would like to expose homeopathy to, or buy one ticket and invite lots of friends and family members over to your home and have a party, and have a little discussion group to talk about homeopathy. It's a great way to spread homeopathy to lots and lots of people around the world.
I would just add that if you do book a virtual ticket as a result of watching this live or when it repeats on YouTube and Instagram, please do select my name from the drop-down menu. When you check out, there's a red carpet ambassador drop-down menu. So that would be, if you are booking it as a result of watching this, then I'd be very grateful for that, of course.
Well, if anybody deserves to be an ambassador, you do, Atik. So
Oh,
I hope
thank you.
people will
That's
select your name for sure.
very kind of you. The next question, Kim, is does the film talk about how homeopathy can integrate with medicine? I think they mean conventional medicine.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we speak very positively about certain aspects of conventional medicine. Of course, if you're hit by a car or a bus, or you have some type of health issue that requires surgical procedure or heroic intervention, then hospitals and modern medical technology are fantastic. And we say that in the film. We say it's wonderful. But there are many areas where homeopathy has no capability to affect a change. There are what we call effectiveness gap conditions. These are conditions that homeopathy, that conventional medicine simply does not have a solution for, but homeopathy does. We have many, many solutions to many health issues which conventional medicine says we don't have an answer for. So yes, we will be addressing all of that, but also giving conventional medicine its due where it's required, and intentionally not criticizing any other therapeutic modality at all.
Thank you, and I hope that answers the question from the listener. The next question is, how interesting question. How many people are involved in making the film or making this film?
So there's Julian and his team of editors and graphic designers. So Julian and his team's probably about 10 people. So, graphic designers, editors, things of that nature. We have a script writer, so I'd make about 11. Carol Boyce, who's a filmmaker in her own right, is also involved in the direction of the film. And Mickey and myself. And then we've got the musical director, Seabury Gould. And then there's another person who works with him on the music as well. So that's about 15, 16 people. But then we also have a lot of volunteers as well. We have the collaborators, and we have a lot of other volunteers who've contributed in a variety of different ways for social media and many different things. So I would say, aside from the 15 core people, there's probably another 30 or 40 individuals who have been involved in various capacities.
I would just like to say to the listeners that there is someone behind the scenes who is an absolute diamond in this process, and that is actually Mickey Elia. I think that we should really take our hats off to her, because the amount of work and pressure that she's under, and I'm a part of that, by the way, because I keep emailing her, right? But she lets me off, she forgives me. But there's so much work that is involved, I can only imagine. So yeah, I'd just like to say that,
No, I appreciate you saying that, because it's really true. Mickey, my wife, has done a tremendous amount. She's done almost all of the scheduling of all of the patients, which is a Herculean task. I mean, we've got, I don't know, 10, 12 patient stories, and you can imagine having to organize and coordinate different people getting together. We even had a photo shoot where different patients came together and surfed together, who were all treated with homeopathy, and were cured of their various health issues, and they all got together, like the little boy and two of the other people, and they're surfers, and they're out on the water, they're having fun and surfing, and of course that will be shown at the end of the film. But you can imagine, I mean, we've even brought people together, in the homeopathic community. It's been very powerful.
Amazing. Ashley Mendoza's asked a question here live. Will volunteers or collaborators be mentioned in the credits?
Yes, they will. Absolutely. We do have a different level of hierarchy in terms of how you get recognized, but everyone who has been made any type of contribution will be in the credits for sure. We do have a special category called ambassadors, which are people who have raised $10,000 or more, and then they get a very special listing on our site. But we understand that not everybody is capable of making that type of a donation. But yes, everyone will be acknowledged and recognized for this film.
Thank you so much for answering that. The next question is, where did the idea come from for this movie or film?
I'd like to say the Akashic Records, but so the truth is that I've been wanting to make a documentary for a very long time. And I wanted to make some short videos for another project that I was working on, and I came across Julian, and he had fantastic skills. He's been in the entertainment industry for 20 years. And so I realized, wow, I have a lot of connections in the homeopathic community. I've been practicing for almost 40 years. I did a 25-hour course on the history of homeopathy. So I'm familiar with a lot of different facets of the history of homeopathy and how it's practiced and homeopathy around the world. And so I thought, here's a guy with these skills. Let's combine our talents. Let's amass a team of very creative, talented individuals to support and work with us. And that's really what, that was the impetus for this film.
I would like to mention here personally that I think just this is for the listeners who will obviously watching and who will watch back later as well, that Kim is an absolutely incredible teacher, because I've had the good fortune of having Kim on my podcast twice now, and hopefully many times more in the future. And when he talks about, and I don't want to put you on the spot, so but when he talks, he really does inspire and he really captures. So if you can get, Kim does webinars and seminars, and you can find out more information about that. Please do, please do join, or at least register and listen in. I think it's a really, it's a really different style of presenting, which is really exciting, I suppose, is the best way I can put it forward. It really gets you excited.
Thank you for saying that. If people want, they can go to our website, wholehealthnow.com, WHOLE, healthnow.com. And if they just type in my name in the search field at the top, you'll see all of the courses that I taught, including many free sessions that are available. There's lots and lots of free classes that people can listen to if they'd like.
Thank you. The next question, how do I convince, this is a good question. How do I convince my friends to watch this film with me, as they are not really interested in homeopathy? It's a good question.
All right.
Well, I'm not sure which way we're going to answer that.
Everybody's different, and what motivates one person is not going to necessarily motivate another person. But I think, the best thing is, if you know these people very well, is to go to them and say, look, this is something that's very important to me. It's made a real difference in my life. I feel like it could have value in your life as well, and I'd like to share it with you. So would you be willing to come to my home one evening and check out this film? We can talk about it. And, you're welcome to, perceive it however you'd like. But, this is something that's been very important to me, and I'd like to share it with you.
Wonderful. The next question, is the film going to be, this is a really good question as well. Is the film going to be available for buy and keep, which means you can buy the film?
We don't know yet, because we're still in negotiation with Netflix, and a lot of it is contingent upon their various requirements. There are literally 50 documents that you have to download to get a film onto Netflix. And there's all kinds of requirements. Like, for example, the fact that we can't call the showing of the film on April 19th a premiere. We can only call it a private showing, because, again, that would go against the regulations of Netflix. So, there's a lot involved, and we don't know yet whether we'll be. I would love to produce DVDs of this and have it on physical media, but we don't know the answer to that yet.
Now, the next question is, you're going to smile, because as if the pressure isn't on already, someone's asking, is there going to be a sequel?
It's a good question, because we have so much footage. One of the challenges for us is to find what to exclude. And there was one interviewer in particular who did such an amazing job that there's literally almost nothing from her 45-minute interview that we can find to exclude. But we can't have the film for 45 minutes. Yeah. So, that's one of it's a good challenge to have, obviously, to have more than what you want. But yes, it's very possible that we can make a number of additional films after this release. Yeah, very possible.
Wonderful. Somebody's asking, how long has the film taken? So I assume this means from start from when you started.
From the time it's actually shown, it'll be almost 3 years.
Which is a very, very, very long time, actually.
Yeah. Well, we had to travel all over to interview people. We interviewed over 100 people. So that's a lot. It takes a lot of time and effort to do that.
The next question, have you had any bloopers and with a LOL, lol?
Oh, yes. Matter of fact, one of the way that we are making this film is we took all of the interviews, we transcribed all the interviews, so we have written copy for it. And then we went through all of that copy and we highlighted all of the segments that we thought had potential value to be included in the film. And we also categorized it by what topic that belonged in. So for example, we have scientific research, placebo, homeopathy on the world stage, cultural icons in homeopathy, the history of homeopathy. We have all of these categories. And so then we took each of those segments and we placed them into those various sections. And then we were able to pull those out and put them in the appropriate places. And like I said, we've got tons and tons and tons of additional footage to make additional films with.
I think the phone may have just moved.
Oh, sorry. I'm having to hold it, so.
Oh my God, okay. We just have a few more questions, Kim.
Sure.
Someone's asked, can you put clips, as in can Introducing Homeopathy, the team, can they put clips of the film on social media like, well, they mentioned some social media platforms.
There are a lot.
It.
There are a lot already. If you want, I'm not the person who controls the social media part of what we do. That's Isabel Wells. So they can contact her directly if they have any suggestions about what we need to do with social media.
Someone's asked, is there a possibility of this documentary being included as part of the study material for students of homeopathy in colleges?
Yes, it's certainly possible. I mean, when we made the film, we made it in mind with a few different target audiences. One is, it's just the general public of people who are interested in natural health care but don't necessarily know what homeopathy is. That's our primary target. But we also did look at the medical community, the scientific community, and also students as well, to try to address all of those various needs. And yes, I do believe this is something that could be shown at homeopathic schools or even medical colleges to kind of expose medical physicians to the art and science of homeopathy.
Which actually leads into the next question, which you've actually answered. So, do you feel the film will help educate people in homeopathy and natural medicine?
Yes, absolutely. We were very conscious not to dumb anything down. We interviewed a Nobel Prize winner, a number of PhD scientists, medical doctors. So it speaks at a high level, and because of the very powerful stories of these patients' lives being transformed, it's also very emotionally compelling as well at the same time. The key for me was, how do you make a film that educates and entertains at the same time?
Yeah. The last question is, I think it just froze momentarily there. The last question is, this is one I can answer as well. I want to get involved. How? But I'll let you answer.
Yeah, so you can go to, we certainly do still need financial support. So if you can donate financially, please go to introducinghomeopathy.com. You do receive gifts in return for your donations, so those are greatly appreciated. You can see all the various gifts and the monetary amounts that coordinate with that, correspond to those. And of course, you're welcome to contact us if you have any skills, or also very important, if you can make sure that we get more people to follow us on social media. That's really important as well. I can give you out my email. My email address is kim95062@earthlink.net. And if anybody has any way that they'd like to help or support the project, please just contact me directly, and I'd be happy to speak with you about it.
I would say that it's to the listeners that it's so important, and I did mention yesterday as well when we were talking to Elizabeth Wells that please please follow the official Introducing Homeopathy Instagram account. The handle is literally at Introducing Homeopathy. You can't miss it. It's got a beautiful black logo with IH written in the middle. So please do follow, because together it will make a big deal. And the way that algorithms work nowadays, I don't want to get technical, but the more people that will follow the account, the more exposure it will give, which is so needed for this film. So there's something that we can all do literally from our homes. We just have to press follow, and the more people that know about it, the more chances of it spreading even further to the wider public, as far as possible. And certainly we want millions and millions of people to watch this film and to have this awakening that, wow, this is homeopathy. We thought it was that and this and whatnot, but this is what it is. And that interest, I think, will serve them for the rest of their life then.
Thank you, Atik. And Atik, I just want to acknowledge all of your support. You've been so amazing in so many ways, and everybody here on our team really appreciates you. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm very grateful to you.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. That's all the questions, and hopefully we will talk very, very
Well,
soon.
hopefully I get to see everyone in Reston, Virginia. I look forward to it.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much, Kim.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.